All I'm doing here is outside rein and a little push with the outside leg. So if you're not going to go into reining, what use would that be? I always say this, you have to know what your end result is in order to know what to reward. So you see me talk a lot about lifting the horse's middle up, engaging the back end, and rounding the horse's body. And I do a lot of pushing the shoulders out, pushing them in, counter bending, head to the outside, pushing the shoulders over. And I wanted you to see kind of how that advances. I do a lot of that in the very beginning stages. This horse is pretty advanced with that. And I wanted you to see kind of how that advances to further a horse's training. You just saw me counter bending with the head to the right. Now I have the head slightly to the left and I'm using my left leg to push the shoulders over. And basically that works into the spin, but all I'm doing is asking the shoulders to move over from the counter bend. I'm softening the counter bend so that it's less counter bent. I want the horse mostly straight. Kind of depends on the horse's conformation. Some of them I'll have them a little straighter than others. Some of them I'll have them bend a little bit more. And it also depends on what career the horse is going to go into as to how much bend that I want to have in that spin. Typically one that's going to be more reiner, I'll have them a little straighter. One that's going to be more cow horse, I'll have them a little more bent. And that's because of the other stages that in training the horse has to go through. I always say this, you have to know what your end result is in order to know what to reward. You have to know what is good in order to know what to reward. I'm having her step around. I'm not asking for a whole lot of speed. She's staying fairly soft. She's really not staying balanced on her back end like I would like. That's one of the things that I've had to work on with her. But as you see, that is just working into what would be a reining spin, a cow horse spin. I'm not messing with her face much other than control and bend. I'm not really messing with the hip much. As long as she maintains her forward, she's going to end up pivoting on the foot that I want to pivot on. If she starts to get too much back up, rock too far back, then she'll start to shift to her outside foot. All I'm doing here is outside rein and a little push with the outside leg. All I'm doing is asking the shoulder to move over. Good girl. So if you're not going to go into reining, what use would that be? Well, basically you're going to use it for anything you're going to want that horse to do, or you're going to want to steer the front end. I've just brought that a level up so that I have a lot of control over the front end. It works in just your steering. If I want to just turn and go this way, and I actually do that a lot in the training to maintain my forward. It's also really important to have control of that shoulder for when we move on to lead changes. This horse, we had been working lead changes a lot, and then it got really hot, and then we backed off on loping her so much. Now that it's cooling back down, we're going to go back into working lead changes again. But you need control of the shoulder in order to work the lead change. So let's talk about the lead change right here and how this exercise builds into the lead change. So right now, I'm walking her forward. I'm gonna have my left foot in the shoulder, right behind the girth, right foot back, pushing the hip in. So I'm actually walking the horse in a left bend, but going into a right circle, maintaining my forward. So if I was loping here, we would be loping in the left lead. And then if I change my bend, I'll change my leg. I'm going to move my right leg forward, my left leg back, change the bend so that she's bent to the right. Now, I would have just done a lead change to the right lead. Now see how she got stiff in her neck right there? kind of pushed into her shoulder, that lead change she would not have gotten. If she can't get it at a walk, she's not going to get it at a lope. So that needs to be softer, better control bending from one lead to the other, taking her body from one bend to the other, because that's all a lead change is change and bend. If I can change her bend smoothly from a walk, then I'll be able to change. I want to work on bending her smoothly from a trot and then bending her smoothly from a lope. And that, once I have a smooth bend from left bend to right bend at a lope, that's a lead change. Right there, she got pushy when I changed bend. That needs to be a little bit better. Then when she gets it better at a walk, we'll practice it more to trot. I haven't done a whole bunch of this with her. When we quit working lead changes, quit loping because of the heat, I went back and started working on some spins because that was a little less taxing on her with the heat. So I want control of the shoulders first. Different trainers do it different ways. Once I feel like I get control of the shoulders, everything falls into place from there. If you're having an issue with your horse, you see the horses I get in for training that have some sort of issue, first thing I do is I get control of the shoulders. Start pushing the shoulders. Pushing the shoulders rounds the body and starts you on the process to not just correcting whatever problems you have, but also advancing the horse in training. My program brings a horse from the very beginning, ground up, all the way to a finished horse. I have that complete program, and that's how I work the horses. If I get a horse in with a problem and I just work the problem, that's not helping that horse advance. When you do that, most of the time you're just trading one problem for another problem. If you spend much time around kids and they're doing something that you don't want them to do, let's say they're climbing on the furniture, and you tell your kids, well, get down off of the sofa, quit jumping on the sofa or whatever, they're going to go do something else they shouldn't be doing. Tell them to quit playing in the mud puddle, they come out the mud puddle, they're probably going to do something else they shouldn't be doing. So I don't want to tell the horse, don't do that. I want to give the horse something productive to do that would advance its training. Most horses, when they're doing something that you don't want, they just need guidance. Just like a child needs guidance growing up, the horse needs guidance becoming a mature horse and learning what the horse is supposed to do. So you need to be telling your horse, this is what you need to be doing. If you have a horse that's giving you whatever that problem is, don't scold him for that problem. Instead, show him what he should be doing that's going to mature him up into the finished horse that he should be doing, that he should become. That's what all good trainers should be doing, not just bouncing around from one problem to another problem. Don't do this, don't do this. They're just going to do something else that they're not supposed to do. So a horse needs a complete program that's going to start from the beginning and bring them all the way up to becoming a finished horse. This is Bug. I'll put a link up here to my other videos. If you're watching on YouTube, that link will be there on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, you can swap over to YouTube and that link will be there. And you'll be able to see her other videos. There's quite a few of them. Until next time, thank you for watching.